Okay, so let us try to solve examples. So, kailangan lang ma-identify natin yung mga factors. So, this is just the same as that example na ginawa natin sa reduction of order. So, proving na tama yung sagot natin. So, ang gagawin lang natin, if a factor, so d squared plus 5d plus 6y is equal to 0. So, pwede natin i-convert into m operator or alpha operator. So, magiging alpha squared plus 5 alpha plus 6 is equal to 0. Then, factor out natin. Alpha plus 3, alpha plus 2 is equal to 0. So, magkakaroon tayo ng alpha equal to negative 3. That's alpha 1. And then, alpha 2 equals negative 2 as our factors or our roots. So notice that the roots are distinct and real. So therefore, we just have to plug it in. Y is equal to C1 e raised to lambda 1 of x plus C2 e raised to lambda 2 of x. So therefore, y is equal to C1 e to the negative 3x plus C2 e to the minus 2x. So that's our final answer. So that is letter D. Okay, let's proceed with the next example. So we have y triple prime plus 3y double plus 4y plus 2y is equal to 0. So when y of 0 equals 4, y prime of 0 equals negative 4, y double is equal to 1. So magkakaroon tayo ng m operator natin, pwedeng m cubed plus 3m squared. So again, katulad lang ng ginawa natin sa d operator, that's 4m plus 2 is equal to 0. Then find the roots. So pwede nating gumamit ng ating mahiwagang synthetic division. So you have 1, 3, 4, 2. So let's try negative 2. 1, then multiply natin negative 2. So that's 1, negative 2, you have 2. So this is not a factor. So therefore, let's try negative 1. So kasi pag nilagay natin, magiging negative 4 ito. So therefore, this is not a factor. Let's try negative 1. Erase natin. Negative 2 is not a factor, so let's try another. So try natin ang negative 1. So negative 1. So you have 1, negative 1, that's 2. That's negative 2, so that's positive 2, so that's negative 2. So 0 yon, so therefore negative 1 is a root. So m here is negative 1. So you have here m squared plus 2m plus 2 is equal to 0. So pwede na tayong gumamit ng completing the square equals negative 2 divided by 2, then raise the second, magiging plus 1. Magkakaroon tayo ng plus 1. So m plus 1 raised to the second power is equal to negative 1. Then m plus 1 is equal to plus minus square root of negative 1. Therefore, m there is equal to negative 1 plus minus I because square root of negative 1 is I. So meron akong root na distinct na real at meron ako ritong complex conjugate na roots. So ang pagka-real number, y is equal to c1 e to that exponent negative 1 times x. So okay na kaagad tayo dun sa unang root na distinct. So dito sa complex conjugate, a here is negative 1, b here is equal to positive 1, so that is equal to that is e to the ax quantity c2 cosine bx plus c3 sine bx as per derived kanina. So y here is equal to c1 e to the minus x plus e to the 1, a is negative x, quantity c2, cosine b is 1 times x is x, plus c3 sine x. So that is our general solution. So meron tayong initial condition that when x is 0, y is equal to 4. Substitute natin. 4 is equal to c1 e to the negative 0. So that's c1 plus e to the 0 is 1 C2 cosine of 0 is 1 plus C3 sine of 0, 0. So you have 4 equals C1 plus C2. So that's my first equation. Then you have y prime of 0 is negative 4. So we have to take the first derivative. Y, pwede naman natin i-multiply lahat ito by e to the x to the negative x para matanggal ito. So magkakaroon tayo ng y e to the x equals C1 plus C2 cosine x plus C3 sine x. So taking the first derivative, y e to the x plus e to the xy prime equals C1 0 minus C2 sine x plus C3 cosine of x. Substituting, when x is equal to 0, y prime is negative 4. So let's use muna yung ano dito, space. So again, ang ating derivative ay y e to the x plus e to the xy prime is equal to negative C2 sine x, negative C2 sine x plus C3 cosine of x. So ang given initial condition, y prime is negative 4 when x is 0. Okay, y prime is negative 4 when x is 0. So when x is 0, the value of y natin kanina ay 4. So substitute natin, y is 4, e to the 0 plus e to the 0 times y prime is negative 4 equals negative C2 sine x, that's 0 because sine 0 is 0 plus C3 cosine 0. That's 0. That's 4 minus 4 equals C3. Then C3 is 0. Then let's take the second derivative. That's y e to the x plus e to the xy prime. That's derivative of a product. Plus ito naman, e to the xy double plus y prime e to the x equals derivative nito, negative C2 cosine of x, derivative, negative C3 sine of x. But y prime is, y is 4, y prime is negative 4, y double prime is, y double prime is positive 1 when x is equal to 0. Let's substitute. Y is 4, e to the 0, plus e to the 0 times negative 4, plus e to the 0 times the value of y double prime is 1, plus y prime is negative 4, e to the 0 equals negative C2 cosine 0 is 1, minus C3 sine 0 is 0. So that cancels out. We have here 4 minus 4, 4 minus 4 plus 1, minus 4 equals negative C2. Then you have here negative 3 is negative C2, then C2 is positive 3. If C2 is 3, from equation 1 natin, 4 is equal to C1 plus C2. 4 is equal to C1 plus C2. If C2 is 3, 4 is equal to C1 plus 3. Then C1 is positive 1. So C1 is 1, C2 is 3, C3 is 0. So ang ating general solution, y is equal to C1 e to the minus x plus e to the minus x C1 cosine x, that's C2 cosine x plus C3 sine of x. Then substituting, C1 is equal to 1. So y here is e to the minus x plus e to the minus x. Quantity, C2 is 3 cosine x, C3 is 0. So therefore, y is equal to e to the minus x quantity 1 plus 3 cosine of x. So this will be my particular solution. So my particular solution is letter C, e to the negative x 1 plus 3 cosine of x. Okay, so that will be our answer. So let's proceed with our third example. So we have here d to the 6 minus 4d to the 4th y is equal to 0. So gagawin lang natin, again, factor out, or pwede natin kasi siyang i-express as m to the 6 minus 4 m to the 4th. And then equate natin sa 0 to find the roots. So you have m to the 4th is a common factor. Magkakaroon tayo ng m squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Then you have m is equal to 0 4 times. Kasi to the 4th yun. So m1, m2, m3, m4. And then you have m squared minus 4 equals 0. Then m is equal to plus minus 2. Because this is m squared is equal to 4, then m is equal to plus or minus the square root of 4. So therefore, our general solution y is equal to, puntahan muna natin yung distinct roots. That's c1 e to the 2x plus c2 e to the minus 2x. Kasi ang root natin dito ay equal sa 2, ang root natin dyan ay equal sa negative 2. So exponent 2, exponent negative 2. Plus, you have c3, m is equal to 0, so that is e to the 0x plus c4. Maglalagay tayo ng x, e to the 0x plus c5, x squared, e to the 0x plus lastly, c6, e to the 0x times x cubed. Dapat kung ilang beses cube yun kasi to the 4th yung ating or 4 na beses inulit yung ano natin. So di ba dapat m minus 1 ay n minus 1 yung ating exponent. So since 4 times, that is 3. So dapat hanggang x cubed tayo. So therefore, our answer is y, c1 e to the 2x plus c2 e to the minus 2x plus c3 e to the 0 is c3 plus c4x e to the 0 plus c5x squared e to the 0 plus c6x cubed. So that will be our general solution for that. Okay, number 4. We have d to the 4th plus 13d squared plus 36y is equal to 0. So factoring this out, so we have plus 36 is equal to 0. So you have m squared plus 9, m squared plus 4 is equal to 0. That is m is equal to plus minus 3i, m is equal to plus minus 2i. So of course, meron tayong dalawang a plus or minus bi, where a here is 0 and b here is 3. A here is 0, b here is 2. So your general solution y is equal to c1 kasi wala naman tayong, sige lagyan natin, e to the 0x. c1 cosine 3x para dito plus c2 sine 3x plus e to the 0x para naman dun sa pangalawa, c3 cosine 2x plus c4 sine 2x. Simplifying, y is equal to c1 cosine 3x plus c2 sine 3x plus c3 cosine 2x plus c4 sine 2x. So that will be our general solution. So again, 4th order tayo, so dapat hanggang c4. Then let's have this as our last example. So you have d squared minus 4 to the 2nd, that's d to the 4th plus 2d squared plus 1, y is equal to 0. So this is d plus 2, d minus 2 squared. This is d squared plus 1 squared, y is equal to 0. So pwede tayong gumamit ng m operator or lambda operator or simply d operator. So d here is negative 2. D here is positive 2 since naka-raise sa second power twice. So, dalawang beses inulit ang negative 2 at saka positive 2. And then you have here, d is equal to plus minus I, kasi d squared plus 1 yan. So, d is plus minus I twice din. So, notice na pag ni-raise ko to sa second power, magiging to the fourth. Ito, ni-raise sa second power, magiging to the fourth. So, 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. So, dapat meron tayong hanggang constant 8. Punta muna tayo sa negative 2 twice. So, y is equal to c1 e to the negative 2x plus c2 x e to the minus 2x kasi twice lang. So, hanggang x lang dapat. Punta tayo dun sa pangalawa. Y is equal to c1 e to the 2x plus c2x e to the 2x. Punta tayo dito sa unang ulit ng plus or minus I. So, ang A mo rito ay 0, ang B mo rito ay 1. So, magkakaroon tayo ng e to the 0, x, c1, cosine x, plus c2, sine x. Since inulit, magkakaroon tayo ng another y, e to the 0x, times x, c1 cosine of x, plus c2 sine of x. So, ilang c1 at c2 meron? 4. Sa una, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, lalagyan na lang natin ng subscript. So, pag-add-addin lang natin itong lahat na yan. So, para sa general solution, y is equal to c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the minus 2x times x plus c3 e to the 2x plus c4x e to the 2x plus c5 cosine of x plus c6 sine of x plus x cosine x multiplied by c7 plus c8x sine of x. So that will be our general solution. So again, gagamitin lang natin ang roots depende kung anong case siya nabibilang. So case 1 is distinct roots, case 2 kapag ka complex conjugate, and case 3 kapag ka repeated roots.